Is this the last Spider-Man film? Let's find out.
What's up, Crown community? Welcome to another spectacular episode of Crown Gambit. I am your host, Efren, and I'm here with my co-host.
What's up? I'm Aubrey. So I'm wearing this hoodie because I figured if I had a Spider-Man mask, I'd look like Miles Morales with a hoodie.
To be doing our review on Spider-Man No Way Home.
No Way Home.
By the way, guys, this is going to be a spoiler review, so...
No Way Home.
So supposedly this is the last Spider-Man film, but I'm not so sure because there was a post-credit of... I told Efren about it. He went straight to the restroom and missed like a few minutes of the post-credits. Venom, Tom Hardy made an appearance, and yeah, we'll talk more about that. Even after this film, there was issues with the Supreme Court with Marvel and Sony fighting for complete rights to Spider-Man and the Spider-Man
Who's
characters.
gonna own the character?
Well, Sony owns it right now.
For how long until Disney buys them out?
No, dude, there's been issues about that. But we'll talk about that later. Let's talk about this film, man. This film is so good. This film is by far, I believe, the best Spider-Man film.
Yeah. Not just Spider-Man film. I think it's just in the MCU in general. Like, I feel like this movie, because I feel like it's gonna break box.
So opening weekend on the Spider-Man No Way Home is $260 million already on December 17th.
So the
When it
opening
released
weekend,
on December 17th, they made $260 million.
and Endgame averaged $357 million.
Was that
on
opening weekend?
On that opening weekend.
So look how close it is.
It's really close.
It's very, very close. I mean, if you're going to compare this to Endgame was a film that was a build-up of like the Avengers to the Infinity Stones to all that, and it was a two-parter. So you can understand why it's going to make so much money, but this is Spider-Man on his own.
On its own.
It's a standalone film. It has one Avenger.
Mm-hmm.
That's Doctor Strange. So this is a comparison, and I believe that, before we get into Strange's review, I believe that this is definitely going to be Avengers Endgame. There's so many different reasons why I feel like this is the best MCU film. Some people still say that Infinity War and Endgame is still the best MCU film, even maybe the first Avengers film being the best MCU film ever made, or even Iron Man. But I'm going to talk about that later on. Let's talk about all the good stuff of this film. Let's start with you, Efren. What are some of the things that you love about this film?
Well, for me, the first thing I loved about it, and usually I'm not the type of person that likes, is the duration of the film. This film had me on my toes every freaking...
I'm going to piggyback off of you on that, because when you said duration, I believe the pacing of this film was really good. The editing and the cutting, because we start off right after Far From Home.
Exactly.
So there was no 2-year gap, no 3-year gap.
Right
it was
after.
Right after. And already you have swinging, you have the not the LAPD, I'm sorry, we're not in LA.
The NYPD.
The NYPD chasing Spider-Man. He's a criminal.
He's
a
run.
public enemy.
Dude.
J. Jonah Jameson is just
hammering them. He's arming them. He loves it.
Podcasts. Oh my god. So we go straight to that, all the way down to Happy and May and their breakup.
Yeah.
So
that was
pacing
the first
good.
thing, was the duration. And actually, I didn't even feel the time as long. Literally, I had to go pee for over 2 hours ago, and I was just holding it. And then I was like,
I was holding it for 3 hours. Damn, I really gotta go.
As soon as the movie ended, I'm like, I'll be back. Boom, took off, came back. He's like, you missed Venom.
That's
I'm
how
like,
he missed
no
Venom.
way.
5 seconds after he left the credits, or the post credits, Venom showed up, and I go, bro, you're gonna miss the mid post, the first post credits. I think it was post credits, and then there's an end
had
credits.
to go so bad. The second thing was the way that they filmed it. It was just cinematic.
The graphics were really good.
The graphics. Here's also what I like besides that. We watched it in the IMAX, so it was just a picture perfect. It was just amazing.
We were lucky to get seats. Just remember, if you don't get your seats right away, somebody's gonna grab your seat.
Yeah,
and you're gonna end up right in the front, and those were the only seats available. This is just by experience. You do not want to watch an IMAX film all the way in the front, right in front of the screen, right when you're right below the screen.
Exactly.
Or if you're all the way to the right or all the way to the left, because you won't you're not centered. You're not going to see the whole entire. You have to be like somewhere
in the center.
Somewhere in the center.
You know, and
that's how you can really experience.
We got lucky. We found 2 seats. We took them. We decided to go watch it, and man, it was just the best film that we've watched. I mean, that was just part of it, man. I love all the other characters that came out, like Matt Murdock. We were talking about this in our previous film that, hey, Aubrey called it. He said, man, I have a feeling that's going to be Matt Murdock representing Spidey.
Well, you know, it's been talked about also everywhere, but at the same time, I'm thinking, okay, well, he's going to need a lawyer to represent him, so why not reintroduce, Charlie Cox, who played Daredevil in Netflix. And there's all this talk about Disney trying to get the Netflix characters back.
Hungry?
Yeah, but that one scene though.
Yeah, the scene was amazing, dude. Just how he handled the whole situation, and then when they threw the brick into the window, he just caught it.
Well, a Mysterio follower threw a brick, saying, Mysterio forever kind of thing.
Yeah.
Right? Threw a brick, like those who loved Mysterio and hated Peter for supposedly killing Mysterio, or he got blamed for it.
Yeah.
Threw a brick. He caught it. Backhand caught it, like Hail Mary just caught it, and Peter goes, "What kind of lawyer are you?"
Very good lawyer.
Very good lawyer. And the fact that he only had one scene, that was good enough for me.
Yeah, that was the cherry on top.
Because that just shows that we are going to get our Netflix characters back,
yep.
and we're gonna bring them back into the MCU.
Can't wait to see how Disney puts if they make happen. Yeah, same thing with Punisher. I hope they're able to bring back Punisher.
John Berthal is
I don't know why they canceled him on Netflix, but hey, you know what?
Well, because Disney is, I guess, because like the ownership of the characters, they want to keep all. I don't know. It's all this crazy bullshit.
Drama bullshit.
Yeah, that's one great Easter egg. Let's talk about the villains now. Let's talk about the cast. Spidey and his friends. Spidey and his amazing friends.
Spider-Man 1, 2, and 3.
No, Spidey and his regular friends. Ned Leeds and Zendaya, of course, the trio, like his best friends. They didn't get accepted for MIT.
Well, that's the
one
school
of the
that
best
they all were going to be
universities that
together.
they're trying to get together with all the techies and all the smart kids go to. So none of them got accepted because of his.
Because they all knew Spider-Man, and because
of his reputation.
Yeah, of his reputation.
Because of his reputation. You're guilty by association. That's pretty much what it is.
And that's what they're ruining all of their lives. And that's kind of where Peter Parker just decides to go and change that timeline. And as he's trying to change the timeline, him and Doctor Strange, they start getting into like, okay, this is what's gonna happen. Okay, then they start altering it multiple times by having to say, oh, I want this person to remember it. No, I want this person not to remember.
Stop tampering with the spell.
He's changing the timeline multiple times.
And I don't know if you know what the spell is called. It's called the Runes of Kafka. That's what it's called. I wrote it down. I took a lot of notes in the theater. The Runes of Kafka. I don't even know how to. He's so good at it. Like he's so.
Yeah.
Him and Wanda, they're good at.
All these little
with their hand gestures.
Yeah, gangsters ain't got shit on them.
Yeah. Well, one of the villains said, So you're a magician? So you do what, like birthday parties?
Birthday parties, yeah. Because how did you do that? A lot of birthday parties.
Speaking of villains, we're getting a collective gallery, the Rogues Gallery of Spider-Man from different universes. And we all know this was going to happen because this happened in the trailer. As Spider-Man was trying to go to the MIT, a recruiter or wherever, the board.
Yeah, the lady who's in charge
of like recruiting and getting him in. You find out that the bridge or the freeway was being attacked by 2 nemesis of Spider-Man, which is 2 of the original Sam Raimi villain. It's played by Alfred Molina.
Hello, Peter.
Dr. Octopus, and of course we have Green Goblin, who is played by William Dafoe. At one point would have been a great Joker if he was still in the
Oh yeah, fuck yeah, dude. Dude, let me ask you this.
He's such a good actor.
Who, out of all the 5 villains...
I'm on the fence between Dr. Octopus and Green Goblin. Because their acting is so Shakespearean. They're so classical with their acting. I don't know if you remember watching the very first Spider-Man Sam Raimi film with Green Goblin.
Yes.
That one scene where he was just talking to himself in the mirror.
We killed them.
I guess I'm going to go with William Dafoe.
Wow.
As one of my favorites. Who was yours?
Yeah, same here. It's like I told him yesterday.
I mean, I think he stole a lot of the scenes because he was so evil and he knows how to channel like the Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde thing.
Yes, he does.
You know?
He did an amazing job at it. Just the way that he knew how to push Peter Parker's buttons. Is kind of like what I love about it because he knows how to.
But he
did
did that with the first Spider-Man.
Exactly.
With Tobey Maguire,
So,
and he's like, I can do it to you. I can do it. I can do it to him.
Exactly.
You know?
So he knew how to mess with their minds.
I know what makes you tick.
Yeah.
Spider-Man. That's my Green Goblin.
Dude, it was just crazy.
Don't set aside the other villains, though.
I'm not.
Don't bench warm the other villains. So you got Dr. Octopus and Green Goblin. We already know Alfred Molina and William Dafoe are great actors. They did very well with their roles as, portraying that character.
Yeah.
You have Sandman from Spider-Man 3, which is also a Sam Raimi film. He was one of them. You also have the Lizard and you have Electro. Remember, Electro wasn't that much of a good character at the Amazing Spider-Man 2.
Wait! It's not my fault! It's not my fault!
They didn't give him enough character development.
Yeah, I think that's why they did it on this film.
He did so well in this
like
film.
Him and the Green Goblin were the two, to me, were the ones who were like the real enemies. Like,
I think they gave more script and more dialogue for Jamie Foxx.
Yeah.
They really cleaned up his dialogue.
Oh, yeah.
Made him more menacing, made him funnier even. A little faster, fast and witty. Because on the Amazing Spider-Man 2 with Andrew Garfield, he was a bit stale. His performance was stale. He was just like
he redeemed himself.
Just a regular villain that nobody really remembered.
How could you forget me?
I love the way they explained how he looks human. Because in the trailer, I'm like, okay, but wasn't he blue though? Didn't he look like sparks and stuff like that?
Yes.
Why does he look human? When he teleported into this other world from a different universe, he for some odd reason he recovered his flesh.
Yes.
So
that's what he says. Like, y'all ain't gonna just stand around there like you don't see me butt ass naked.
I really like this.
Jamie Foxx was just.
I think Jamie Foxx really did good, and I think this is. See, this film is more about redeeming the villains and their roles
and changing them because that was like the whole mission.
Well, no, not only that, it's I'm talking about like the actors' roles, like their characters, because I feel like some of these actors could have done more. They probably knew, they're like, you know what, I could have done more with these with this character, but it's too late because the film is already done. This is like their second chance of redeeming them again.
I just wanted everyone to see me.
And I loved it. I mean, Sandman did great. I'm glad it was the same actor because we didn't know if it was the same actor towards the end.
Yeah, that's true.
I thought they were just going to CGI this whole character and just have somebody else as voice.
And the same thing with Lizard Man.
With Lizard.
Oh, the Lizard
Man. Or they call him Lizard Man, I guess. But I thought they were just going to use CGI this whole entire time and they're not going to use an actor. But towards the end, after they healed every one of them, you find out, it's the same cast,
character, which is amazing.
It's the same cast, but then again, there's a lot of CGI too on the faces too, so that could be another possibility. But I believe they did still use recasted.
You know, one thing I did like about what tripped me out was Dr. Otto Octavius. His claws change with the nanobot.
The nanotech that created Spider-Man's Iron Spider suit
takes over Dr. Otto Octavius, and that was just hard. I love the colors on it.
Speaking of which, that is also a callback to the comic books. At one point, Spider-Man was Spider Octopus or Superior Spider-Man. There's a comic called The Superior Spider-Man where Dr. Octopus channels
Dr.
his
Octavius.
mind. No, Dr. Octopus.
Dr. Octavius.
Well,
Otto Octavius.
Yeah, Otto Octavius, but that's his real name. But his when Dr. Octavius his mind was actually transferred into Spider-Man's body.
Sorry, I'm laughing. It's just that, you know, when we were right now discussing about Dr. Octavius or Dr. Octopus, like it just brought back a flashback of when Mary Jane was like, "How do you want your water?" And he goes, "You want fresh water or you want it with salt?"
Yeah,
I mean, you know, because you're an octopus and all.
And he was looking at her like, "Dude, I'm not a real octopus. What the heck?"
Fresh water.
But she was being witty. She's just like Peter Parker. And she's witty, and that's where Peter Parker gets his wit from her because she's sarcastic.
Yes.
She's being sarcastic.
Yeah, she does really good job as Mary Jane.
My God, Aunt May.
Aunt May, yeah.
Aunt May. Yeah, Mary Jane did well too, which is Michelle Jones. Yeah. Not Mary Jane, but Michelle Jones. Yeah. But Aunt May did well because there was no Mary Jane here. It was more like a Michelle Jones, another MJ from a different universe. I love the since we're still back, since we're talking about the villains, I love the interaction with the villains.
Oh yeah.
When they started talking to each other, it's like, so where you from? Like, oh yeah, I got a Spider-Man too.
Yeah.
And what about you? Oh yeah, you died in my universe.
You know what's funny?
And
When they were saying, like, how'd you die? Oh, I fell in a pool of eels, and you? I fell in the water. Damn, it sucks. It must suck dying. it must suck falling.
no, yeah.
That was
something
hilarious.
about falling or something, right? That was great. I loved their interaction. I was worried that these villains were just gonna be like a one-off kind of thing, where they're just gonna show up for like one scene and that's it.
Yeah.
You know, or they're gonna show up at the end and that's it. Like, that's it. No, we actually get a full character development of each villain.
Mm-hmm.
And even towards the end, you find out, you know, they're not really that bad.
They're not. They just had different point of views, and they happen to interact with
Yeah,
Spider-Man.
Dr. Octopus, Alfred
Yeah,
Molina.
Dr. Octavius, he changed.
Well, you know,
So did Sandman.
It's the fact that, you know, the machines take over his mind, so he's not really evil.
The inhibitor chip.
Yeah, it was just that ringing. He said
Like,
that ringing
he
in my
even became
head.
a good guy. He stopped the Sinister Five.
The
Four,
Sinister
or
5. I know, we
whatever.
thought it was going to be the Sinister Six.
It's the Sinister
Oh
Five.
my God. Or
The Sinister
five.
Five. Or the Frightful Five, we can call that, right? Yeah, and even the Green Goblin, like he struggles fighting his demons. You know, he's not Norman Osborn is not the Green Goblin. It's just that's his inner demon that he fights with on a daily basis.
Yeah.
Even Harry has it because it's genetics.
Yeah.
You know, it's a genetic code that Harry has to go through too. Like, oh, my father has it. I think I have it too. I have to fight my own demons, and that's the Green Goblin. So we all have that. It reflects a lot of us, of how we live our life. We fight our demons all the time. Like, are we gonna make the right choices? Are we gonna make the wrong choices? And speaking of choices, I want to talk about some of the most saddest moments and the tearjerkers scenes.
Yes. I want to
On
talk about that.
yeah, oh my gosh. Well, one biggest one. There's a lot that I want to talk about, but one big one was the death of Aunt May.
Yes. And that's something we were talking about with Aubrey is we were like saying
Which Aubrey?
with you.
There's three of us.
There's three of us. Oh yeah, the multiverse.
Aubrey Solomon. No, that's me too. No,
The multiverse.
imagine there's like three of us.
Spider-Man. Which one? Peter Parker. Which one? The one with the computer.
Oh, never.
That one. All right. Good. But anyways, yeah, no, we were talking about that as well. Like, it's crazy because Spider-Man 1, which is the most recent one, was with the Avengers, he lost.
Oh no, he calls himself Spider-Man.
Yeah. Spider-Man 1.
I'm Spider-Man 1.
That's Spider-Man 1.
I'll be two.
I ain't gonna brag, but I was with the Avengers. Oh, awesome! What's that?
Yeah, is that a band?
Is that a band? Yeah. So you know, he had a loss as well, and then Spider-Man 2, which was
Spider-Man 2? Toby? Let's just call him right
Toby. So Toby, he ends up losing Uncle Ben, and then Andrew Garfield, he ends up losing MJ.
Gwen Stacy.
Oh, Gwen Stacy. Okay.
There was no MJ.
Not
as well.
MJ, okay.
But he calls it. I had an MJ too in my world. Her
Yeah.
name was Gwen Stacy.
So they all lost one character that was dear to them.
Yeah.
You know,
Important to them.
important to them.
They've all lost a loved one. And it's crazy though, because when Tom Holland was crying in the building and the two Spider-Mans came up and he knew, like, oh yeah, dude, these are Spider-Men from different universes, right? And they all came up to him like, bro, we know how you feel. Don't tell me that you know how I feel. I was like, bro, talk to them. They know exactly how you feel. Bro, we all cried when Uncle Ben died. That was one of the saddest moments in comic book
And
history.
it's crazy because
When Gwen Stacy died and Andrew couldn't save her. Dude,
Gwen, stay with me, stay with me. Stay with me, stay with me. Gwen.
hardcore performance by Andrew. Like, I cried so hard because they had such good chemistry. Even in the film, like, oh my gosh, we're never see Emma Stone again.
exactly. And then losing
Cruella
Aunt May,
DeVille.
having to lose her definitely was something that was very heartbreaking.
Dope.
It's the way that Aunt May, she said at the end, with great power comes great responsibility. Same thing as what happened with Toby.
She was Uncle Ben there.
Yeah.
Not choice, responsibility.
And you know what's crazy though? Uncle Ben was still never mentioned.
Yes.
I don't think
That's
Uncle
amazing.
Ben
Never came out.
No, I don't think he exists
Yes.
in this universe. Because even in the cemetery, I'm thinking, okay, are we gonna see Uncle Ben's Tombstone right next to hers. No, it was just I'm like, oh shoot, I don't think.
So who
I no, I think Aunt May just adopted Peter by herself. I don't think there's an Uncle Ben here. Did Peter even mention something about an uncle in the past films? I'm not sure.
No,
I have to rewatch the film again. I have to rewatch the film again. I don't know, maybe he mentioned it to Tony Stark, like, oh yeah, I had an uncle maybe that passed, but he never said anything.
Or an uncle that left us or something.
Yeah. So I'm not so sure. Don't quote me on it, but they never mentioned Uncle Ben.
Besides MJ dating Happy. That was funny.
Stop saying MJ. Aunt May, bro.
Aunt May.
MJ never... Gosh.
MJ's all the same. All three of them just...
MJ never dated Happy Hogan. Ever.
I would have.
No. Never. Ever.
It never existed.
Never, ever. When he could not save Gwen Stacy... I cried in that moment, like, oh my gosh, because just Andrew Garfield and Emma Stone, their chemistry together was so good in that film.
Yeah, it looked like bread and butter right there.
I thought they were together. Like, I thought, okay, did they just hook up? Because they click so well in this film. Maybe they're like this in real life. Right? And then I see a lot of behind the scenes when they're doing interviews with them. They're so cool with each other.
Yes.
So when she died in that film, I actually cried, and when Andrew Garfield cried, I cried even more. So, when he came out, jumped and saw MJ, and he knew that Tom Holland's Spider-Man could not save her because he was holding the box or something.
Yes,
or
that
fighting,
was his second chance
or
to
was fighting Sandman or Lizard or something.
It was Lizard.
Preoccupied. Yeah, he was preoccupied.
Oh no, it was
one of them.
Green Goblin. He took him because he remember he was falling, and he picked him up. And he took him.
Okay, so he took him, I guess one of them.
Something like that.
He was preoccupied. This was his
second moment.
His second chance to get MJ. When he grabbed MJ, landed safely with her, and MJ said thanks, and he's just like, no problem. And you start crying? I cried, dude.
Yeah, because he knew, like...
Everyone in the audience and the theater was like, oh my god.
Yes.
And they were clapping for him.
Yes.
Are you okay?
Oh,
yeah. I'm okay.
Oh my god.
Are you okay?
A moment of like redemption right there, and it happened, and
it's like I couldn't save my girl. Let me save my other self's girl. Let me save his, which is my other. That was my other half or something. So another scene that really got me to tears is when Toby and Toby is such like a big brother. Andrew Garfield is like oh man, dude, I'm so glad to meet you guys, kind of thing. Tom Holland is like still trying to get over his Aunt May his death in the family, and then Tobey Maguire is like the big brother. Like he's the veteran.
You know what's funny is because Toby's the only one that actually has.
Oh yeah.
And then they're like, "What? They came out of you?" They're like, really?
Does it
How
come
do you
out?
guys do it? But we have to fill up our little.
We gotta do this, and we gotta run down sometimes.
You get web ball.
We black out sometimes. We get the web ball, whatever it is.
Web balls or something like that.
Balls,
I forgot what they call it.
When they black out or it doesn't work.
Yeah, that happened to me once.
Yeah. So like, where else does it come out? Like, whoa. Like, we shouldn't talk about that.
I like the interaction between the three Spider-Man. That was just insane.
I can hear them three talk to each other all day. Like I can watch a full episode of just all three of them just hanging out, talking to each other about their experience because they talk about their villains. Like, oh wait, so you guys, what's your most awesome villain or what's your most deadliest villain?
I fought a space alien.
And then the other one's like, I fought this one. I fought a goblin, and then I have those three right there. And then Garfield's like
a magical elf or something like that, a flying elf.
No, What about you? Well, let's just say Garfield. What about you, Andrew? And he was like, well, I had the lamest villain. He was like a mechanical rhino. I was like, oh my gosh, there's so many callbacks, dude. And these are like, okay, this film is for like the fans of all Spider-Man.
Yes.
Because everyone has their favorites. Like some people may not just like Tom Holland. Some people actually like Tobey Maguire more.
Yeah, some like
Some
Andrew
people
Garfield.
like a different generation likes Andrew Garfield more. Other people like Tom Holland.
That would have been cool if we were to have for Miles Morales, that Spider-Man. Remember
Dude,
they were talking about it? I had a black Spider-Man. You're not black, right?
No. Jamie Foxx.
was
Electro
hilarious.
was so funny here. That one scene. I want to throw this in here. He's so funny because he sees Andrew Garfield's face.
Yeah.
And it's like, huh. So like you're like real smooth and cool and everything. I would have thought you were black. Right? And he was like, huh? And he's like, but I guess, maybe there's a black Spider-Man somewhere out there. And everyone's like clapping and shit.
Yeah,
because we were yelling, Miles Morales, homie! That's him! Black Spider-Man!
That'd have been awesome if they had all four of them there, but
Dude, I really thought, because remember they kept on like bringing all the Spider-Man and they kept on trying until they find Tom Holland Spider-Man, right? When MJ and Ned was like, okay, do it again. I thought they were going to do it one more time, and Miles Morales.
And then Miles Morales was going to come out.
Into the Spider-Verse.
Into the Spider-Verse.
I thought he was going to come out like a live action.
Oh, that would have been crazy.
I would have been like, no way, dude.
That would have blown.
That would have been crazy. There's a Miles Morales there in the MCU. We're going to get a live action Miles Morales one day. We definitely will.
But yeah, that was nuts covering that part. What's another thing that we
another eye jerker was a callback all the way from the beginning of the very first Spider-Man movie with the Sam Raimi film, when Peter Parker allowed the Green Goblin's glider to hit him and penetrate him.
Oh,
in the very first movie. So technically, he didn't kill him, but he let him die. Green Goblin is responsible for Aunt May's death. Tom Holland's already in that rage mode, like, I don't care, he sees red, I'll kill him. When he tries to stab him with that same glider, that's exactly like Spider-Man 1. That's a flashback to Sam Raimi.
Big Brother come in.
And then Big Brother comes in, holds
him.
it, but he stays quiet and looks at him, and he just smiles like,
he knew.
That made me cry, dude. If you watch this movie again, look closely at Tobey's eyes, his acting. I've been there. I don't want you to become like me.
Yes.
I've already fought my demons. I don't have to kill anymore. I don't have to do this. It hurts. I know you're gonna enter a dark place.
Exactly.
But he didn't even have to say all that.
Yeah, he did.
No
His
dialogue.
face expression
His
just
facial
showed
expression
it.
already shows it.
Yeah, that was a very good moment of connection.
Love that, dude. I love that so much.
When you see Tobey redeem himself or show him, then
All
you
of
have Andrew also having to show him by catching Aunt May. Like they,
Aunt May. You mean MJ?
MJ.
Bro, you call Aunt May MJ, you call MJ Aunt May.
No, but I'm talking about, but then he ends up catching Aunt May, right?
No. Michelle Jones, bro. Bro. You're getting the MJs mixed up.
Tobey, who ends up having to save the first Spider-Man by having to just hold it, by holding the actual glide, by not allowing him to stab, Green Goblin. So that was his moment right there. Just like Andrew's moment was by having to capture, MJ. So it was just seeing both of those Spider-Mans having to finally get the redeeming moment, which to me that was amazing. That was a touching moment.
Everyone started clapping. I hear people sniffing. They're sniffing because they're crying.
Yeah, they were
and
tearing
stuff.
up.
They're tearing up.
Yeah, the whole audience was just feeling that energy, man.
And they got quiet when Tobey got stabbed.
Oh yeah, I almost teared up. I told him, bro, I'm about to tear up.
Don't tell me they're gonna kill Tobey. No way, dude. They're gonna kill Tobey.
And it's funny because he's like, yeah, man, I'm still here.
I've seen a stab before.
It hurts.
It hurts. I got stabbed. But we still got healing powers, so we're good.
Yeah.
We're good.
Yeah.
I think we mentioned some of the funny moments, which
a lot of
the
funny
interactions with the villains, and then the three spiders was my favorite interaction.
So you make your own web fluid in your body?
I'd rather not talk about this.
No, I don't mean to.
Are you teasing me?
No. He's not teasing you. It's just that we can't do that. So naturally, we're curious as to how your web situation works.
I don't do breathing. Breathing just happens.
Whoa.
Does it just come out of your wrists, or does it come out of anywhere else?
Only the wrist.
I have to make my own in a lab.
And
it's a hassle.
That sounds like a hassle, yeah. But I did.
Hey, what are some of the craziest villains that you guys have fought?
Seems you've met some of them.
Again, I can watch that in one for 1 hour
that was very
and laugh. They could just talk and talk and talk and talk about their experience because they're talking about their war stories.
Exactly.
And then we know about those war stories. That's why we can relate to it, right? So,
yes.
It's a lot of nostalgia. Also, one thing I wanted to mention. Okay, so I don't know if a lot of you guys know, the actor who plays Ned Leeds is Jacob Batalon. Okay, Batalon is a Filipino last name. Obviously, he's Filipino. Okay, so he takes his friends. The spider people. Actually, all the spider people came into their house.
No, it was only two. Because they were.
I know his friends. The two spider people and his friends. Oh, and MJ was with Ned and his Lola, and Lola in Tagalog means grandma. Grandma. You almost had it. Lola is grandma. Let me get my Lola here. I'm like, wait a minute, Lola. That's Tagalog right there, right? And then she comes in, old lady. I don't know. I think she's an actress in the Philippines, but what is her name again? Her name here. Let me grab her name. I got her name here. Her name is Mary Rivera. A little old lady that Joe Coy talks about. This is exactly what Joe Coy talks about. With some Louis Vuitton purse and sandals. Comes in and starts talking Tagalog. And dude, this is a crazy thing because I'm laughing while she's talking Tagalog. And everyone's looking at me like, is he laughing at her accent or something?
Yeah.
I was like, no, because I understand. But I was the only one laughing in the theater. I was like, oh my gosh, that's freaking funny, right?
Did you understand what she was saying?
Yeah.
That's just funny.
No, I was laughing because she was speaking Tagalog for like a minute. For a full minute. And I was like, laughing. No Filipinos over here? And everyone's all looking at me like, why is he laughing?
What is she saying? There's no dialogue here.
And she in Tagalog, she's like, man, you better tell your puta mina friends to you fucking clean this shit. I was just kidding. She didn't say that.
Can you get that over there in the corner since you're up there?
Can you get those webs over there, man? Over there.
And
Okay, yeah, because I don't have time to clean that. It's a trip. If we're gonna go by continuity and based on the names of these characters, Ned Leeds becomes the the Hobgoblin.
Yes, no, that's gonna be part of our Easter, so we're gonna talk about that in a little bit.
Yeah, in this MCU, we have a Filipino Hobgoblin.
And what's great? No, that's crazy. So
we have a goblin that's Filipino in this MCU, dude. That's so crazy. Start off with an Easter, man. What are some of the Easters you wanted to throw in there?
Well, one of them was the Matt Murdock. Having to watch that was just freaking amazing.
Yeah.
Another one I want to talk about was also Ned. Later in the future, he becomes Hobgoblin. But what made it stand out the most about it was when he told Spider-Man, he goes, I can finally use magic and I'm not going to become a supervillain. Mm-hmm. And it was a quiet moment for a second.
Yeah.
That was the biggest Easter egg by having the show.
Yeah, there's two things I want to mention with Jacob right now. If you look at Jacob's Instagram right now, he actually lost all that weight. He's ripped. He could easily play a superhero villain.
Yeah, and that opened it up just on those scenes. Like, hey,
he's been working out, dude.
This is the future for Spider-Man if we want to take it that route.
If you want to take it that route, here's another little Easter. So when Ned starts asking Toby, hey, so do you have any like friends in your world?
Yes, he goes, he died in my arms.
He goes, yeah, he died in my arms after trying to kill me.
He looked at him like,
he's like, oh, okay. And then he goes back to Peter. It's like, don't worry, I'm never going to be a villain who's going to try to kill you, bro.
Another Easter egg was that we wanted to bring up was the cafeteria.
Okay. Did you play Spider-Man PS4?
No.
For PS4?
No, that's why you brought it up to me. You're like,
okay, so I'm a big fan of the game. I try to go 100%. I try to complete all the missions, even the Black Cat missions, all that. He has the game. Actually, he had the game twice. Actually, I almost gave him a third game of Spider-Man. I didn't know he had it already.
Yeah.
I almost gave that to him for last Christmas. Recommend that you play the game. It's such a good game. It's such a good game because there's a lot of things in this film that they took from the game. I don't know if Feast was maybe in the comic books before the game, but Feast, which stands for, I'm gonna read it out, Food Emergency Aid Shelter and Training. It's basically a homeless shelter facility or rehabilitation center for those for homeless. And Aunt May in the game, Aunt May runs it with a character that owns it that becomes a villain like later on. But you have to play it again. In this movie, Aunt May runs it. That's so crazy. And if you look at Parker's suit, it's similar to the Spider-Man suit in the PS4 game. So another Easter egg I wanted to talk about was, so MJ works at this one diner, and I guess this is during Halloween time, and maybe towards the end they end up like at Christmas, so this is kind of like a 3-month timeline like throughout the film. But it was Halloween and they had decorations of like the black cat, of black cats, and little Draculas, which is of course Morbius, and I believe I saw like a goblin picture, not a Green Goblin, but like a goblin picture on the glass.
Yeah, that was pretty cool too.
So he came in there, they really emphasize on all those little things. I'm like, okay, those are little Easter eggs for like, you know, some of the characters and stuff. So that's another Easter egg.
You know, when Doctor Strange is actually opening, or when it opened up the universe, you kind of see all this purple, or you kind of start seeing all the old characters.
Silhouettes of it.
So you kind of see, you know, Rhino.
I saw Rhino and
Scorpion, and then there was another character which, I don't know, he kind of...
But see, that Rhino he didn't look like the Rhino from the Amazing Spider-Man. He looked like the Rhino from the animated series. So it's like different characters from films we haven't even seen yet.
Yeah.
Right?
So like watching those, that was another pretty cool thing to catch there.
Yeah. I didn't catch all of them though. I gotta rewatch it and see.
Which characters are which. Because there was one that I was looking at, I don't know, man. It just looked like
I really thought they were gonna pop out like, dude, are we gonna see more? Come on.
That'd be awesome.
Come on, let me see more.
And every they popped out, somehow Doctor Strange just took them all back.
Why?
Yeah, Doctor Strange is just, man, his character, the way he played was amazing, powerful, and it's just, dude, the way he cast the spells was just crazy, man.
Yeah.
And I like the fact that towards the end credits, they show how Doctor Strange's next film, and I love the fact that Wanda is gonna be.
It's a teaser to his film, dude. I'm telling you, I talked about this before with the podcast I did with Soul, and I talked about like, look, I think the mutants will come, and it has something to do with Doctor Strange and the multiverse and Wanda. I think those two, Wanda and Doctor Strange, are going to bring the mutants into this.
Yeah, that'd
MCU.
Be awesome. That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
You know, that was another one. What was another Easter egg there?
I mean, that's pretty much all I can think. Oh, I mean, there's small ones that I guess a lot of people caught, which is the wings on Spider-Man's armpits that he uses as a glider.
Yes.
Yeah, that's also in the comic books. Like, he used to actually use, like, they took that out, but he used to have, like, webs as wings. That way he can swing and just, like, fly and stuff. So
I remember you brought up also Ned when he had that cape.
But if you think about the cape, bro, like, the Hobgoblin has a cape, too.
Oh, yes.
But it's yellow.
Yes.
And he flies with a glider. Here's another Easter egg. So Ned, throughout the whole entire film, he's wearing a yellow, orange and blue jacket. The Hobgoblin is blue and yellow, orange. So it's got the same color schemes of the Hobgoblin. So also color schemes of the Green Goblin with his like bum suit, whatever he was wearing a robe, but it was all green and he got some purple in him. Like, I like that. I like his new suit too. Great film.
Yes, I rated it a 10 out of 10.
I'm gonna give this a 10 out of 10. I do believe that this is by far the best Spider-Man film ever. I don't know how you're gonna top this.
Yeah, and to me, I feel like it's the best MCU film ever.
There's so much drama with Sony and Disney right now. We don't even know if we're gonna have another Spider-Man film. They say this could be the last one, but judging from what I saw in the post credits with Venom, I doubt this is gonna be the last one. Why would you stop if you're making so much money with this character? Sony and Disney are fighting because, like, yeah, we want to make money too, so have us be part of it. And Sony's like, no, this is ours. This is ours.
Yeah, and then Disney, obviously, they want to buy out every character. They're the same.
They can't buy us. Sony's like the only company they couldn't buy out.
Yeah.
For now.
Yeah, and because Sony's got money too.
Sony's got money too. And PlayStation.
Exactly.
I mean,
PlayStation.
Bro, Sony's got money. They've got films. They've got electronics. You know, they got a
Disney,
lot of stuff.
you can have everything in the world except for Spider-Man. We gotta somehow, you're gonna have to convince them, you know, busting old
I don't know what's gonna happen.
Call Jessica Jones to force Sony maker to sign off
break the
Spider-Man
stuff, like, hurry up, right?
Hurry up, throw him in the truck.
I really want more. I want more build up with Tom Holland Spider-Man. I want more Spider-Man. Now we have a multiverse of Spider-Man and they all know each other. even though if Doctor Strange removed their memory, I have a strong belief that we're going to have different side films of like Elseworld films. Of maybe we can continue more with like Tobey's Spider-Man stories, or maybe more of like Andrew Garfield's story, but in their world. I think Marvel is doing what DC is doing. You know how DC has like the Joker, but it has nothing to do with the Justice League.
Yeah, they just have different.
It's like, Elseworld, right?
Yeah, it's
so I think Marvel's doing something like that too. Like they're creating a multiverse.
Especially with the multiverse being open now it opens up the infinity of different films and different possibilities.
And it doesn't have to all be connected
to Avengers.
Well, in a way, it is connected, but it's not connected.
It's like splitting its own branch, and then opening up to different stories, and that's how I feel like they're doing that with every character. Is that they're gonna open up.
So we're thinking, okay, how can you top this, right? Now we got the Multiverse of Madness with Doctor Strange. We're gonna see What If, right? We're gonna see live action What If characters.
That is another Easter egg that you mentioned about
the
What
Doctor
If characters.
Strange.
Because I haven't watched.
He has not watched any of the What If, and me and Rich, we actually did some reviews. We haven't even posted all of them yet, but we did post like a few of them. And the trailer, there's a dark Doctor Strange, and I yelled out, "Dude, what if Doctor Strange?" And everyone looked at me like, "What?" They keep looking at me like I'm crazy or something. I'm like, dude, that's dark Doctor Strange right there from What If. Mm-hmm. We have a live action What If character right there. If you guys been watching What If from beginning to end, we're gonna have more live action What If characters from that story, live action in the Doctor Strange. Dude, I'm telling you, I'm calling it right now. We're gonna see What If animated characters come to life, and it's gonna be crazy. That's it. That's all I got. That's all. I'm done.
Yeah, we gave it a 10 out of 10. We both.
Which is 100. So that's that, guys. Thank you so much. We want to hear your thoughts. We want to hear comments. How do you guys feel about this film?
Yes,
did you watch this film?
But also, just one last shout out to Jason Beltran.
Being the only patron.
No, we also have Invincible.
And Invincible. Thank you, Invincible.
So much.
I see your comments everywhere, Invincible. Shout out to you guys. Thank you so much for being a patron. And if you guys want to become a patron, definitely check out our Patreon page. We're gonna throw that into the link. It has all the benefits, all the tiers, such as like you know when we post a video, let's say for a chain reaction, you guys get to see it like 2 days before everyone else gets to see it. Even on this review, you get to see it 2 days before everyone else sees it.
Yeah, we also have a couple other videos from our other sister channels, which we have our lifestyle.
Again, look out for our Comic-Con videos, reviews, and lifestyle videos. We'll be posting that up as well. That would be posted first on the Patreon. So if you are a patron, you will definitely get full access and first preview of those videos before
you get the red carpet, Jason.
Yes. So thank you so much, guys.
Yeah, man. Also, if you guys don't want to be members on our Patreon, we also do have our Buy Us a Cup of Coffee, which you guys can support by donating.
Tipping us like $1 from $1 and up, right?
Yes. And also, one thing we do want to bring up, because it is coming close, we are going to be doing a live super chat for Book of Boba.
The Book of Boba.
It's coming out in about 4 or 5 days. So 5 days to be exact.
All right, so we are definitely doing a live stream right after the reaction. And if you guys are wondering, are we going to do a chain reaction, or am I going to do a chain reaction? Oh, yes, absolutely. I'm going to do a chain reaction on the Book of Boba. Are you kidding me? Of course.
So that's probably going to be the chain reaction between Book of Boba and the first season of Mandalorian.
Yeah,
so we
can back and forth.
Back and forth.
And depending on schedule too, guys. So yeah, that's just about it. You can find me in Aubrey Freely _81.
And you can find me on Instagram. Afro Santos.
Also, we have a Crown Gambit Instagram as well.
Yes, and our lifestyle as well. So you guys can look it up. Crown
Gambit,
Crown Gambit lifestyle, and eventually we'll have a gaming channel. But at this point, it's still new. But yeah, man, add us on there, support, because we're gonna be posting a lot of like trailers, previews, and pretty soon we'll be also adding little teasers.
How excited are you in getting these Comic-Con videos posted?
Oh man, I can't wait, man. There's a little surprise in our video that we definitely excited to show you guys. We don't want to say much because we want
it's still in production.
Yes, right? But it's going to be a crazy.
And by the way, this is Los Angeles Convention Center, Los Angeles Comic-Con Convention Center for 2021. that just passed. Well, it was this month, right?
Yes.
The 3rd. It was on the 3rd
Yeah, it was
of
like
December.
2 weeks, so 3 weeks ago.
3 weeks ago, yeah.
So yeah, that wraps up
That's it.
our review. We thank you so much for sticking around. For those that stuck around, thank you so much for your support, for all the love. We appreciate each and every single one of you for having to support us in our journey. And yeah, we'll catch you guys in the next one.